Hey guys, we are in Marblehead, Massachusetts today, a place that is so important to all of American history and has seen so much action, especially during the Revolutionary War, founding era. Who's who of important guys are from this town, and we're very excited because today they are doing the Revolution 250 activities throughout the day, different locations throughout town that are open with special events going on. So we are here to check it out, give you some history, walk and talk, see what's going on as far as shops, the waterfront, the fort, tell you about the founding fathers that are from here and the role that they played in the Revolutionary War. So let's get going, it's gonna be good. It's kind of funky. They're just doing like, it's not really a reenactment because they're not completely in character or even in costume. This is the Old Town Hall and they're just reading like correspondence from the key figures that lived here and what they would have said, and kind of having like a mock town meeting, but it was a little bit awkward because we walked in and they were having one. I guess there's stuff throughout the day, but they were just like dressed in regular modern clothing and just reading papers. Kind of weird. We weren't feeling it, and we're on a time crunch and there's too many other things to see, so we're gonna do Marblehead itself is a beautiful town. We're about a half an hour from Boston. We are 15 minutes from Salem, aka Crazy Town this time of year. It was definitely slow going through Salem to get here, and there's really no good way to get to Marblehead because you do have to go through Salem. But Marblehead is an amazing place. They have more 18th century original buildings and homes than any place. I know the Ipswich, Mass, where I've taken you before if you watched my George Whitfield video, has more first period homes, but this place has a lot of original from the 18th century. So if you're into architecture and early American and really want that New England seaside town kind of look, and you love American history, or even if you're just a casual observer of American history, definitely recommend a visit to Marblehead because it is so rich in all guys. Old Town Antiques right here in downtown Marblehead. You can see this is kind of the main drag here. Seriously, the coolest, most well-curated antique stores, and you guys know that we know antique stores. They have amazing things from the founding era and a lot of local Marblehead and Massachusetts and New England in general. I think we're going to go try to actually see this painting in for reals over at Abbot Hall in a minute. Looking around here at this incredible shop is just like, wow, so much Americana and local stuff. We've got presidential history mixed in with local history. This is amazing. And the proprietor's very, very nice, so that I could go ahead and record and show you guys what he's got. He's only been open a few months and he is currently only open on the weekends, but oh, did you see that? From when James Garfield was assassinated? Amazing. A little bit of everything in this shop. It's just seriously like one of the best antique stores I think I've been in a long time. I highly recommend if you guys are in Marblehead. And most of the places I'm showing you are either on or are accessible by Washington Street, and Washington Street kind of goes through the heart of downtown, or also known as Old Town Marblehead. So that's where we currently are now too. You can see just how charming this town is. Awesome store too. Like, what a fantastic, like, antique store slash almost museum. Really, really cool. There were some very tempting pieces in there that I'm thinking about. All right, the King Hooper Mansion. This was the home of John Hooper, nicknamed King Hooper. He was a filthy, rotten royalist, loyalist, definitely not for the patriot cause, and kind of a thorn in the side of the good guys here. Now, interesting, the Jeremiah Lee mansion, which is right there, is in super close proximity, as you can see. And Jeremiah Lee was like the John Hancock of Marblehead. He was very, very wealthy, got his money from shipping, trading, and He was an ardent patriot. Sadly, his life was cut short. He died of, I think it was the flu, in 1775. So he never got to see the Rev War really like kick off or come to fruition, but he did live here. And that's a house you can go in as well. I've done that before. I think it's open today, but we're gonna make our way over here and kind of like come back around. Now, Marblehead itself in the 18th century was the second biggest, most occupied city in Massachusetts, only second to Boston. We're coming to the very impressive Abbot Hall, which has a very special surprise inside. I guess I already spoiled it for you guys, but yeah. So the Spirit of 76, which used to be called Yankee Doodle or Yankee Doodle Dandy, actually hangs in here. The very famous patriotic painting. So we are gonna go take a look because it's open today for this event. Okay, we're going in. This is so cool, you guys. Got a little Puritan there. This building is amazing. Oh my gosh. You guys, I've never been in here. It's usually closed when I come. There it is. And here is a guy we're going to be talking about today. Colonel John Glover of the Marblehead Militia, who is also seen on the famous crossing of the Delaware painting, because the Marblehead Militia completely saved the day that December day and helped Washington cross the Delaware, among other things that he did. He was an incredible guy. Oh my gosh. All right, and the Spirit of 76, made by Archibald Willard. He lived 1836 to 1918, and like I told you guys before, this was originally titled Yankee Doodle, without the dandy. He made this painting for the 1876 Centennial Exposition at Philadelphia, and he first intended as a humorous painting, but was advised to make it more patriotic. Mindful of the still recent Civil War, he took the advice and created what has become an American icon. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Sensitivities would have been really high by then, and people probably would not appreciate any level of mockery, even if it was kind of somewhat good-natured. It's funny to think about, because we definitely think of this as being, you know, bleeding heart patriotic. Like, you see this a lot, and a lot of different groups use this art in their imagery, and it's become synonymous with liberty and patriotism and American duty. So I'm glad that he turned it around and that it became the serious thing that it is. It's beautiful. I'm telling you guys, this town is hugely important to everybody, no matter where you live in this country. So much went down in Marblehead, and I would almost argue that we wouldn't be here if we didn't win the Battle of Trenton, and we would not, absolutely, we would not have won the Battle of Trenton if it wasn't for Glover's Marblehead Militia helping General Washington across that river that Christmas in December with icebergs, and oh, it was crazy. And these people, like, we owe so much to. And here is another look at the wonderful ginger-haired John Glover. Probably like a long-lost brother from another mother. And ship making, huge here. James Mugford. Here's an interesting one. James Mugford was an extremely brave, I mean, look how goofy looking he was. But he was not goofy. He was an amazing, amazing captain, and successfully warded off the English out in Boston, the harbor, and beyond, and then met his demise one day when his ship was boarded, and he gallantly tried to fight back. He actually started cutting the hands off. I kid you not, I'm telling you, history is better than fiction. He started cutting the hands off of these privateers, pirates, and as he was cutting off, it said, I think that he cut off 8 hands successfully. Way to go, dude. But then as he was doing it, he was ran through with a broadsword and died instantly. So crazy dramatic ending. One of my favorite stories to tell that not a lot of people know of, but he's just pointing out that like everybody around here claims to be the birthplace of the American Navy. A lot of the towns do, and we're like, who wins that battle? I don't know, it's weird. I don't know how they figure.
Like Whitehall, New York claims it.
Whitehall, New York claims it, and well, I guess Newburyport is the Coast Guard, right? But how can it be Whitehall, New York, and Marblehead, Massachusetts? That's just not possible. Oh, this is really cool. I love a rug like that in the house. Just an incredible building. Let's see what it's like up here. And this is some, in case you guys didn't notice, like the municipal building. So this is where the town comes together, and on the West Coast they call them like county councils. Over here it's selectmen. That is the board that votes on town matters. And yeah, you know, good reminder with elections coming up, do your patriotic duty and vote, and remember that oftentimes local things affect you even more than what goes on the national level. So pick your county councils and selectmen wisely. This is incredible. I'm in the middle of this giant room, making myself dizzy, and oh my gosh, there is a giant stage, giant balconies, amazing artwork. What in the heck? This is fab. So much artwork too, like you could spend hours just in here looking at everything. William Reed. Trustee of Dartmouth, Andover Theological Seminary, American Tract Society publisher. That is so cool. American Tract Society. So they publish Bible tracts, and William Reed, actually really important to American church history. Archibald Willard. Now this is the man who created that Spirit of 76 painting, also known as a Yankee Doodle. Here's a funky cool quilt, a little bit of everything about the town of Marblehead, and let's see, do they have anything with Fort Sewall? Oh, there's the Powder House right here. That's pretty cool, over by the cemetery. There's the Jeremiah Lee Mansion. One of a kind lighthouse. Looks like that might be Fort Sewall over there. So cool. I have a quilt that I've been working on for like 10 years that I haven't finished. Oh, the USS Constitution in action. The oldest continually operated American vessel in operation in the fleet. And this, of course, is in Charleston in Boston Harbor. And everybody in New England is proud of her. I'll take you guys there someday. She's amazing. Like, this building is a piece of art itself, let alone the actual art that is in here. This is, oh, look at this sled. You hear the creaky floors? Love it. This is so, like, you want to be posing for like a Currier and Ives painting. Dr. Sanborn Slay. Did I say sled? Of course I meant sleigh. He worked in town as a doctor. He's the baby doctor. So he was like the OBGYN of the 1800s. Delivered 2,800 babies through snowy conditions. And this was what he used. That's awesome. Civil War cartridge pouch. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the Spirit of 76 painting, like the drum in it, that's the freaking drum. That's the drum from the painting. Like the model was used. That's so cool. And look at this. Ah, so awesome. And the weather is holding out. Like, it's a little breezy, wants to be sunny. It's pretty mild. Not a bad day to come do this. So this was an event they did this weekend, and it's one of a kind because this is part, again, of like all of the 250th celebration of Rev War in America coming up stuff. And it's cool that places are like doing things at different times and kicking off early. There's another look at Glover. He was short and kind of stocky and very ginger-haired and handsome and kind and brave. The men loved him. Wow, look at that scale. What the heck? That's crazy. This is awesome. I'm leaving things out. I don't know. There's so much to say about Marblehead, and it's, thankfully, not to like toot my own horn or ring my own bell, but it is something that I do know quite a bit about, something I've read a lot about, researched, something that I love and is close to my heart. So much happened here, so it's hard, and I just hope that as I'm going place to place, it's all coming together and making sense for you guys. So we were just told that this is the original deed to the town, and it was purchased for 16 pounds? 16 British pounds, and this is the original thing with the seals, and the Native American signature is down there on the bottom, which is really, really cool. And man, they are giving out these awesome programs for the events that are taking place or have taken place over the weekend, and it's got awesome information, very nice quality brochure. Impressive. I've been to a lot of these kind of events, and there is a level of legitness in the way that they've done this. So props to them and the Rev 250 Marblehead people, whoever you are. Really nice event. In the Jeremiah Lee Mansion, and look at, you're not gonna not tell me that that's a Springer Spaniel right there.
For this weekend, it's just the first floor that's open to the public. Yeah. But we'll be closing October 31st. There's no heat, there's no plumbing in the house. So yeah. We close it up tight, and another week or two I'll be wearing my winter coat.
So Caleb's never been in here, but I have. I've brought the boys in here, and we loved it. Particularly our oldest. He loves doing these colonial, mansion house tours. We've done so many of them across the country, but they're always a little bit different.
They weren't honored guests. They didn't come in through the front door. They weren't family coming through the side door. They would settle their accounts after a voyage with Jeremiah in here. And these rooms, back when the banks were operating out of the front two rooms, they had a brick vault that extended back here. And once the Historical Society took over the mansion, we removed the vault, the brick vault, and used the bricks to build the garden wall outside here.
There's an old safe there.
I'm sorry?
There's a safe back in the corner here.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, is this run by Historic New England or the Historic Society of Marblehead?
Marblehead Museum. And
okay, wonderful.
Society.
That's good.
Yes, we're our own.
That's good.
Entity.
I like to hear that.
We actually have the original keys for the safe there.
This is where all the business happened, where he settled his accounts for shipping, fishing, cargo.
The desk of General John Glover. And a couple of years ago at auction, we have traced back the provenance of the desk, had it refinished. And then the portrait above is of General Glover's grandson.
So this is Glover's desk, she was just telling us, and that is Glover's grandson, who looks so sad.
I'll show you what his floors would have looked
Cute
like.
kid, but he looks sad.
His floors would have looked like.
This is so amazing, and usually there is a fee to do this, unless you're like a member of the Historic Society or the North American Reciprocal Museum, which we're members of as well. But today it was no charge for the event, which is super cool, so that more people can come. And yep, as soon as I saw this French flag, I thought there must be a marquee connection, and there is. Oh my gosh, this is from Lafayette's house in France. And that is a hearth. Got a nice statuary collection in there. And I remember from the tour before that some of these things are original, were donated back when this became a museum, so that's very, very cool. Floors are original. And the piece de resistance, and what this house is really known for, is the original wallpaper. It's the only place you can come and actually see all of the original. And this wallpaper was from 18th century England. Hello, pasta. What do we have here? Russell Trevitt. Very distinguished. Love the artwork. Very cool. You can see the wallpaper there is like not in the best, but it's original. Like, come on. Pretty good, all things considered. And usually that is open. It's not today, but that's all right. And here we go. Now, we've been in a lot of these houses, and a lot of them have different tiles. Oftentimes, biblical stories of Jesus' birth, French tiles, funny ones. There's some of, I've actually seen them, of men going potty, which is an interesting one. These seem to be Dutch and are portraying sort of Dutch country life. They're really, really pretty. So I don't know that they're like necessarily Delft, but they're in that style. The dress though almost looks French. I'm not really sure, but really, really lovely. They're kind of in the tulle style of patterning and art. Really nice. Here's another pantry with lots of fine china, glassware, things like that. Personal effects. Very, very cool. And again, Jeremiah Lee, he was just a wonderful guy. I wish that he had survived long enough to really enjoy this, but like I was talking to the other gals and the docents in here, he was kind of a bit of a foodie, didn't really live that healthy, and it probably led to his demise. I mean, he was sick, but being unhealthy when you're sick on top of things, you know, just isn't the best. So it would have been interesting to see what would have happened if he had stuck around. I think he really would have been key and a name that everybody knows. Unfortunately, everybody now doesn't, but that's why I'm telling you guys. Another look at the beautiful wallpaper. Absolutely love it. Gorgeous staircase. All the woodwork. You can try to reproduce this now. It's very difficult, of course. Unless you are just loaded with money, you're not going to get like the kind of quality that they had back then. They don't make them like they used to, Ma. But really, like, just absolutely beautiful. And I believe that is Mr. Lee up there. You can see a big guy. A really big guy. He must have been eating way too many of Joseph Brown's Joe Frogger cookies. So if you do want to visit, make sure you come before October when the weather changes. They may be open for special events, but that's about it. And then they open back up again in the summertime. And highly recommend a visit. The ladies in there were super nice, friendly, helpful, very, very, very cool. And heard me talking about Jeremiah Lee and his love of the cookies, and they thought that was funny. But yeah, very, very helpful and nice. Had some good chats in there. And of course, we're also on a Lafayette tour stop. August 31st, 1824. General Lafayette was received here at the Marblehead Bank. He was addressed by John Prince on behalf of the town. Because yes, after Lee, this became the bank, hence the vault and everything that we saw. So there you have it. Definitely recommend a visit. If you like decorating decor, maybe your life's goal is to see really old wallpaper, then you need to come here. Maybe you are interested in colonial history, founding fathers, and those that didn't make it, you should come here. Maybe you just want to take a really nice drive around New England, still come here. There's so much to see and so much to do, seriously. Great place. The home of the stories. Elijah's story, incredible surgeon during the Rev War, and his son Joseph, member of Congress, Speaker of the House of Massachusetts, youngest Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States at the age of 32. Wonderful, wonderful, patriotic family. He also had a degree in theology and was right at the center of all the activity here in town, was not afraid to speak up. They took a hard path. They were very much like wanted men at the time. They didn't care. They stayed here living right in town. And can you believe it? This is their house right here, kind of on the main drag, central to everything. And it is a private residence. It's not a museum, so don't bug them or anything. But yeah, that is it. I wonder, I'm not sure if it's even just a single residence or if it's several now. Hopefully it's single. It might be. This is a kind of posh area, so a lot of these actually are still inhabited by one person. Here is the Richard Trivett house, 1730. I showed you Richard's painting earlier, and this is where he lived. Super cute and nice. Love it. Everything here is so well preserved and taken care of. It's really, really lovely. And oh my gosh, the weather turned so nice. Like, what a great kickoff to autumn. And here's another Trivett house. An earlier one. So, there's two right across from each other. I wonder if he was witty. I mean, there's so many historical markers. High concentration of perfectly preserved 18th century homes. And it's all in this one very walkable, awesome little area. Now, we have came here also in the snow, and it gives it a bit of a different look. Quite nice. I remember the very first time we came here, we were like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of narrow roads and one-way streets. It's kind of like driving through a village in the UK. But it's a very, very, very old city. So it kind of makes sense. Here we go. The home of Mr. Elbridge Gerry. Birthplace and home. Quite large and nice. So Elbridge Gerry, a wonderful man with an unfair tradition and heritage attached to his name. He was hugely important, patriotic, signer of the Declaration of Independence, or the DEC as I call it, governor of Massachusetts, vice president to the wonderful James Madison, this guy's cousin. And you guys probably have heard the term gerrymandering, which describes somebody who fudges political maps and borders, or manipulates said maps and borders to gain a political foothold in a place. Well, he didn't even do that. There was a law, he was working on maps in the legislature, but he didn't even sign the final one that became the big deal. And unfortunately though, just because he was around in the era, his name did get attached to what is known as gerrymandering. It's silly too, because his name was not Elbridge Gerry, it was Elbridge Gerry. So we should call gerrymandering something else, like crooked map manipulation or something like that. Don't attach it with him. He was great and a fixture in this town. So again, Elbridge Gerry, great guy. There was maps that were manipulated here, but he didn't even do it. Poor guy. It's misinformation or fake news at its finest. So we are continuing our walk, and it's getting breezier, and it just got a whole lot cooler as we get closer to the water. It's another one, 1756. Nice. And all these towns in New England are different. You know, they all have something they're known for. They all have a different flair. This one,
Their own sign.
some are more different than others. Marblehead is very different. Like if you go back and watch my Gloucester video, even though that's not that far from here, definitely different than Marblehead. Oh my gosh, look what kind of statue they have.
Station number 2.
Oh my gosh, they have springers or cockers living here.
Old firehouse.
For their fans. Very cool. The most impressive Ambrose Gale house. Apparently he was a fisherman. 1663, and look at that, they even gave him a cute little golden codfish. Yeah, you guys, so the number one maker of money here, the number one thing that kept this place going early on, codfish. The humble codfish of the sea. Tons of it here, and it was a huge part of the economy. And when the British tried going after the sale of it, or the control of the sale of it, it really put a damper on things, and it woke a lot of people up. In the long run, that really worked out, because the kind of upset fisherman turned out to be a great soldier in the Revolutionary War. And I mean as a whole. Glover's Marblehead militia, I can't overstate how wonderful, and I really don't think we'd be here without them, so we all owe them a huge debt of gratitude for their bravery, their stick-to-itiveness, and they're just really not giving a crap about anybody's opinion, wanting to keep their state, wanting to keep their town, wanting to keep everything that they worked hard for. And it's no joke, as you'll see here. I see some serious wave crashage going on here. These seas are rough. There was a point late in the 17th century where, you know, they were losing like 25, 30 people a year to the ocean here. And there was also a smallpox epidemic. So people here learned to get very, very tough. They made their money from the sea. And look at, I mean, it's nice out, but look at what, whoa. We've got another very angry Atlantic choppy sea situation here. I've never seen it like this. Video from the other day at Hampton Beach. We got the same, oh my gosh. The tide is so high. And we have not had like a lot of rain or anything. This is crazy, and look at all those boats out there.
Look at the where the dock detached.
Oh my gosh. The dock did detach, and like, not good for these houses here. Oh my gosh. Now, luckily these people over here are on the other side, which that's where I'd want to be. But this is another beautiful side of Marblehead I like to look at. So when the English made it difficult to survive and wanted to regulate things and push people into press gangs, that really became an issue. And Marblehead fought back by deciding early on that they were going to be a patriot stronghold, and they were going to do this thing, and they did. And look at the seas.
Go down to the beach.
No! Oh my...
Good thing my shoes are Gore-Tex.
I saw that coming.
Waterproof shoes. Perfectly safe.
Oh my...
Ride the rail.
Nothing he does even... Ride the rail?
Yeah, ride
No,
the
we're
rail.
not skateboarding today. Nothing this guy does even surprises me anyway. I just go with it.
We'll punch the little boat side up here.
Oh my gosh. You guys, so you guys can see, like, this is usually sand and beach access, but you wouldn't want to attempt it right now. And I'm actually warm, like, in this sweatshirt. I'm really glad I didn't bring my jacket or my hat. It's actually, we're both like warm, but don't have like the appropriate things underneath to just ditch the sweatshirts. Anyways, here we go, Fort Sewall. And here's the old historic marker. If I pronounced it wrong, it's Sewall. A national treasure. Built in 1742 for defense against French cruisers, USS Constitution sought shelter under the fort's guns when chased by the HMS, that stands for His Majesty's ship, Tenedos and Endymion. April 8th, 1814, named after Samuel Sewall of Marblehead, Chief Justice of Massachusetts in 1814. Now this place, but there's been a fort here since 1644, and this place has seen a ton of action during the Rev War, French and Indian War, Rev War, and big time too, even during the War of 1812 and beyond. It's cool because there's still some fortifications and kind of a bunker, so we're going to look at that, but man, I'm still intrigued by this tide situation. Again, you guys, that's pronounced Fort Sewall, not Fort Sewall. So here we go. Beautiful Fort Sewall. And you can see the old fortifications, the bunker. I'll go up here and show you the amazing view, and we'll talk a little bit more about what's beautiful. We're going to put the built-in wind reduction on my gimbal here to the test. The weather just drastically changed. Oh, awesome waves at Sea Spray. And there is a very unique, I call it the skeleton lighthouse.
On that, or is it loose?
On what?
A little sail.
I hope nobody's on it. I also hope it's not loose. Either way, that's the bad
See,
outcome.
there's a lighthouse over there too.
Yeah. Let's live on the edge here. So pretty. Marblehead Lighthouse. Even better from up here. Or like I call it, the skeleton lighthouse. It's very funky. The Atlantic can be wild. Like, and the range. Interesting. Yeah, you'd be protected from the wind.
Completely.
Yeah, he was just pointing out that you'd be totally protected from the wind down here. I still can't imagine it though.
See, these were open earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was an event here, but we just didn't have time to get to everything. There is a wonderful reenactment group of Glover's Marblehead Militia, and they do a lot of local events and definitely a lot here in Marblehead. Really great group.
There's the stairs from up above.
Oh yeah. It should be better here because I'm safe in this little cubby. So I want to tell you guys a very, very unique thing about Glover's Marblehead Militia. They were way ahead of the time as far as who served in the militia. Very unique to Marblehead and kind of cool. So they had a high number of free blacks that served in the militia bravely and wonderfully, and Native Americans. So you had people from all different countries. There would have been Irish in there, Native Americans, you had free blacks from the area, Englishmen, which they were Germans, there were French Huguenots, which is a French Protestant, that you know, they came to this country to escape persecution in France. Things were hard for them too. And you know, Scotland, various places like that, all serving together, and they all got along, and they all were brothers in arms, much like the military today. It was about serving and protecting your brother, and they didn't care about some of the other silly things. So I always think that's pretty cool. Fun fact about Glover's militia, as if they aren't badass enough already. And here we are looking at some of the signage and information regarding the fort and the area and what went down. So this is where we are right now in comparison to everything else. And yes, the bomb-proof quarters, also windproof, I would add. Kind of nice. Worth a visit, even if you just come here. If you like forts, I know there's a lot of people that are really into forts. I'm not a fort expert, but I have been to a lot of, well, I don't know if I'd say that. I probably know more than your average bug, but there are people who know a lot more than me about forts. It's a specialty. There's people who are really into it, and this is a really good one. It's unique, it's old, it's different. I will add that from this spot up here, I'll take you again. Well, it's windy, but James Mugford, who we talked about earlier, this is where he left from in 1776 when his ship was boarded by pirates and he was cutting off the hands and he was ran through with a saber or a longsword. He would have left from this harbor here, and just adding to that story. And I hope, again, I hope all of this is making sense. Part of the reason for his boldness was because he had done several missions like that before with great success. Brought ships into Boston successfully and wasn't afraid. He was a very, very brave guy. Thought he'd be okay and almost was okay, almost had the upper hand. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that. As he was cutting off people's hands, because that's what you did to a pirate. But he was ran through, sadly. But this is kind of like the last thing he would have seen of home before he went out to sea and met his tragic end. People in town were very, very upset because Mugford was very well loved and renowned for his badassery. So there is a plaque to one of my favorite fighting Irishmen. Fighting Irishman having a little different meaning here in America, but he was a feisty one, though not hasty, and very, very, very smart. And recognize him here for his heroics, telling a little bit about his life, and well deserved, because again, you guys are going to be like well-oiled little brainwash machines by the time I'm done with you. I'll say it again. Probably wouldn't be here without him and his militia, so thank you, thank you, thank you to Colonel. This is dangerous territory. I'm just going to step over here. Look how crazy, like. That's a question worth pondering. People really are mad about dogs peeing on their beautiful home. That's kind of weird. Like, dude, just wash the pee off. It's a dog. I think dogs peeing on their beautiful home is like the least of their worries, considering they're like on the edge of the world here.
They're covered in salt water.
Yeah, they're like, seriously? Jerks. I don't know. That's what I think. I think jerks. What do you guys think? I mean, seriously. If somebody was like having their dog poop in your yard and like not cleaning it or something.
Or is a person peeing on
Or if there's a person peeing. Happens in some places. Yeah. But dog pee, like, dude, at least your worries. Chill. And 3 signs up, little excessive. Nice splash of sea spray on my face, like discount facial. Apparently, dogs peeing on people's beautiful houses is an issue here because, like, these people even have like these no peeing signs. I've never seen that anywhere. It's kind of funny. On the lawn, that's different. I get that. Like, they had a really nice lawn, and they either work hard or they probably pay someone who works hard on that. So yeah, you wouldn't want like dog pee while you're in a lawn. Yeah. We have like a pen in our yard for the dog pee to get deposited in. There's a fact you didn't know about me. We have a dog pen for pee. I should be giving you guys a pretty good idea of what it's like here. We kind of traversed the heart of things here. Oh, look at this. I have never been down this. Tucker's Wharf. This is really cute. I don't know, we're both starving. We had like whole grain toast for breakfast, and lots of coffee, but like we haven't eaten since. It's kind of not acceptable because it's getting late. Like it's dinner time, so we're gonna see if we can find some food. Because I'm getting like headachy and lightheaded. This is so nice.
It's calming down the water.
Yeah, the water's calm over here. Getting off where we started, one last look. What a great day. It started to sprinkle a little bit and we still haven't eaten. Starving. So I don't know what we're gonna do. If I add anything to it, I'll put that in bonus footage. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, like Patrick Henry, I know no way of judging the future but by the past. Fun day hanging out. More adventure to come as autumn is kicking off here in New England. And we will see you soon, all right? Take care. Guess where we ended up stopping? Lied you with a little glimpse of Crazy Town. Yeah, it's super busy. It's gonna get busier as weeks go on. But this is what we come for. It's a real, authentic Irish pub. So that's what we're doing. And that's all you guys get of Salem right now. I mean, there is cool stuff here, but yeah.
The North Shore.
All right, so you guys can see. All right, that is where we were. That is where we are, and we gotta go up to New Hampshire. But it's like less than an hour. It's like 50 minutes. Not bad. Far enough away. Because if you've seen Nemo, you know that all drains lead to the ocean. All right, guys, that's it. That's gonna do it for today. It was a good one. We'll see you soon. 3 girls in the corner by the church, dressed, I don't know, I guess they're witches or something, in interesting outfits that just threw trash into the historic cemetery. See? Hear the bells? God doesn't like that behavior. Don't throw trash in a cemetery. And one more thing, this place, best ice cream. Speaking of sweets, here comes some sweet bonus. Throne Depot. LOL. Somebody lost a seahorse. Sad. Visit Marblehead. It's a legend.